If someone tells you money doesn't change people, tell them about these 7 lottery winners who didn't just quit their jobs after winning, but also ditched their families. What happened next just exposed who they really were all along. Number 7. The Anonymous Mum. The first story comes from a post on Mumsnet. An anonymous woman revealed her big secret that she had once won more than £14 million on the lottery, which is around $18.8 million US. But the way she handled her win shows exactly how money can change people. She explained that she was a single mom when it happened. She didn't even realize straight away. She only checked her ticket at work after hearing the numbers on the radio. She nearly fell out of her chair upon hearing those numbers. But the clever thing she did was that she didn't run to cash it in right there. She finished her shift like nothing had happened and only called the lottery office once she was home. But when reality sank in, she started to plan everything. She didn't ditch her job on the spot, but a couple of months later she handed in her notice for good. She bought her dream home, set up private bank accounts, and got financial advisors. And yes, she treated herself with 50 Mulberry handbags lined up like trophies because who wouldn't? But the real twist was what happened with her family. She admitted she lost contact with most of them because of their greed. She claims they acted entitled, as if she owed them a lifetime of free money. Her words were that she would have helped, but the way they demanded it was outrageous. So instead of handing out fortunes, she cut ties. Today, she still has most of her winnings, spends time volunteering, and doesn't regret a thing, except for telling her family. But maybe she was right to cut off her greedy family, because this next man caused a storm. He won £227 million on the lottery, which is equivalent to $305 million US. And instead of becoming a hero to his family, he became the villain. Number 6. The Winner on Reddit. This story was shared by a user on Reddit. He said that he was fresh out of a divorce. His ex had taken the car and a big chunk of his savings. He was left starting again with almost nothing. The win gave him the chance to put his life back together. But his parents didn't see it that way. When they found out, they expected him to share his money with them. His mother was diabetic, his father retired, and they said he had once promised to help them if he ever got lucky. That old line became an excuse for them to demand cash. He admitted he felt guilty, but he also said the money was his way of surviving. So he made his choice. Instead of giving it to his parents, he kept it. He planned a small wedding with his new partner and set aside the rest for his own future. That's when the fight began. His parents were angry. They called him selfish, and their relationship broke apart. The reaction online was very different. Some people supported him. They told him not to give in, that family can drain you dry, and that once you start handing out money, it never stops. Many said he should have never told them he won in the first place. Some even said that he should have helped at least with their medical bills. But none of the opinions mattered to him, as he had already made up his mind. In the end, he cut his parents out of the win completely. And that's how he ditched his family. Now, if you thought family drama ended there, wait until you hear about Les Scatting. Number 5. Les Scatting. He won £45.5 million on the Euro Millions in 2009. It was about $61.2 million. At the time, it was the biggest single lottery win in the entire UK. And the way he handled it is going to shock you. Before the win, Les used to live a simple life. He was an unemployed mechanic. He had survived cancer, and he was living in Wales with his second wife, Samantha. But overnight, everything changed. Suddenly, he was a multi-millionaire. But he did give his 3 children from his first marriage a cut, a 7-figure sum each. But his ex-wife, who had been with him for 27 years and raised those children with him, got nothing. Not a penny. After nearly 3 decades together, he cut her off completely. And while his children were set for life, his decision to leave their mother out of the win exposed a very clear line that the past was the past, and he wasn't sharing it with her. Then, instead of keeping things quiet, Les became a public figure. He even invested in football, becoming the chairman of Newport County. For a while, it looked like he was building a legacy with his fortune. But by 2013, his second marriage fell apart. And just 2 years later, he walked away from the club too. In the end, his jackpot ripped open old wounds and left his first family cut out forever. And just when you think family fallouts over lottery wins cannot get any darker, here comes the story of John Doe. Number 4. John Doe. This man from Maine hit one of the biggest jackpots in US history, $1.35 billion in January 2023. He took the lump sum, which left him with around $500 million after taxes. That kind of money should set up generations. Instead, it tore his family apart. At first, Doe tried to stay anonymous. He even had the mother of his child, known in court as Sarah Smith, sign an NDA so she wouldn't tell anyone. But last November, he sued her. He accused her of breaking the agreement and spilling the secret. His claim was that she told his father, and that's how the rest of the family found out. For Doe, that was betrayal, and he wanted $100,000 in damages for each breach. But in court filings, Smith's lawyers turned the tables. They pointed out that Doe himself admitted he had told his father about the win. This is how his whole case fell apart. And then his father stepped in. Instead of standing by his son, he sided against him. According to declarations, Doe's dad said his son had promised him the world, a new garage, the childhood home, even $1 million trust fund for him and his wife. But when he asked questions about the details, Doe exploded. The father claimed Doe called him names, demanded he cut off all contact with Smith, and then disappeared from his life. His father said to him, "You are not the son I knew." Since then, the two haven't spoken. The promises were not kept, and Doe was left battling both his ex and his own dad in court. Smith accused him of using his endless resources to bully her in a custody fight. Doe accused her of abuse and manipulation. What should have been a fairy tale win turned into a family war. And all because $500 million hit one man's account. And if you thought it was only families tearing apart over lottery money, wait until you hear about Americo Lopez. Number 3. Americo Lopez. Americo lived in Elizabeth, New Jersey and worked construction with 5 close friends. These co-workers had built years of trust, eating lunch together, sharing rides, and even pitching in money to buy lottery tickets as a group. Americo was the one they trusted to handle the cash and buy the tickets. He was the middleman, the one responsible for keeping everyone honest. Then came November 2009 and everything changed. The numbers finally came up and their ticket won. But Americo didn't tell them. Instead, he quit his job. He told everyone that he needed surgery on his foot, and then he vanished from work while secretly holding a multi-million-dollar check. Months later, one of the guys spotted a news story, and there was Americo, smiling with the winning ticket. The group realized in an instant that he had cut them out. As soon as they found out about the betrayal, Americo's friends took him to court. They were determined to prove that the winning ticket was bought with their pooled money. Americo fought back, claiming it was his personal ticket. Even his wife testified on his behalf. But the jury didn't believe his side of the story. The evidence was clear enough that he had used the group's funds. He was forced to split the jackpot. The victory didn't erase the damage. One of the men broke down in court, saying the stress had destroyed their bond. They didn't celebrate with champagne or luxury cars. Instead, they took a short vacation and went back to work. The dream win turned into a bitter fight. And Americo lost not just his money, but every friendship he had. Number 2. Mark Gardner. Now let's talk about Mark Gardner, a man who hit the jackpot for £22 million back in 1995. It was equivalent to $29.6 million. This amount should have been the dream of a lifetime. Instead, it broke all the precious bonds he had in his life. Mark split the win with his then best friend, Paul Madison, but that friendship didn't last. Years later, Paul didn't even show up at Mark's 4th wedding, and after that, the two never spoke again. By the time Paul passed away in 2022, their bond was long gone. Family was no better. Mark was estranged from his 3 sisters, his biological mother, and even his adoptive mother. None of them saw a penny from his winnings. Instead, he turned to his mates. Right after the big win, he spent £500,000 buying houses for 5 of his closest friends. It sounds generous, but it didn't end the way he had hoped. Within a few years, those friendships fizzled out too. In his own words, not one of them kept in touch. That's when the money started to feel like a curse. The fortune didn't bring him peace at home either. Mark went through 4 marriages, the last ending in 2004. After that, he swore off relationships for good. The only family he still talks to today is his cousin June and his uncle Jim. Everyone else, he shut out. Still, Mark never walked away from normal life completely. He kept running his double glazing window business, insisting that hearing a customer thank him for a job well done meant more than any luxury car. And yet, he still splashed out, buying football clubs, 2 boats, a Harley, an Aston Martin, and even houses in Barbados. Over the years, Mark has admitted that sometimes he curses the day he won. The money brought him suspicion, loneliness, and fame he didn't want. And yet, he still buys tickets. Because in his words, winning twice would be amazing. And just when you think you've heard every kind of betrayal, there is the case of the black sheep. Number 1. The black sheep. On Reddit, a 28-year-old woman shared her story, and it was pure family drama. She said she had always been the black sheep of her family. Her siblings were the favorites, the golden kids, while she got sidelined again and again. And even as an adult, they still treated her like she didn't belong. The proof was that they planned a massive overseas trip, and she only found out when her sister started posting photos online. They didn't invite her, didn't even call to tell her anything. When she confronted her mom, she told her that they didn't think she would have wanted to come, and besides, they were tight on budget. She swallowed the hurt and let it slide. Then the tables turned. A month later, she bought a lottery ticket and walked away with over $2 million US. Finally, it was her own win. She kept it quiet, paid off her debts, invested, and even saved some just to enjoy herself. For once, she was ahead. But things blew up when she bought a new car. Suddenly, her family started poking around, and when she admitted the truth, they lost it. Her mom accused her of being selfish. Her sister subtly told her she should cover her student loans. Her brother didn't make any subtle remarks, he straight up asked for a house. But the woman didn't cave. She reminded them how they'd left her out, how they never treated her as an equal. This time, she was not handing anything over. That's when her dad told her that it was family money. Bold of him to say that, while not treating her the same way as her siblings her whole life. In the end, her family turned on her. They called her an ungrateful brat, saying she was destroying the family. But online, people cheered her on. They said she was finally standing up for herself after years of being treated like nothing. The so-called black sheep had the last word, and her family was still empty-handed. Only if they had treated her better, they would have enjoyed a slice of the jackpot instead of being cut off for good. Now, if you want to be millionaires like these 7 lottery winners, don't stop here. Watch the next video to see how 6 dumbest ideas somehow made people millions. Who knows, maybe it's your time to be a millionaire now.